Honda doesn't like his fighters fighting each other. Why do you think Bam moves down to 112? Because Nakatani 115. Now Bam is going back to 115. Nakatani all of a sudden, yeah, that's how it goes. You're absolutely correct, Tyro. You're 1,000% correct. Mr. Honda has this weird thing about his fighters not fighting each other. Tekken Promotions fighters are a family. It's kind of to just use a really appropriate word. It's kind of gay, if you ask me. Just really, really gay. But that's just my opinion. Like I think these guys should be fighting each other. If guys are with the same promoter, all the more reason to fight each other, because you can make money together. What's more noble than making money with your fellow friends? And your fellow stablemates. That type of thing. But we're gonna switch gears, because as far as Bam is concerned, listen, I told you guys that the road to greatness for Bam Rodriguez, it goes through Japan. And look, the way I see it, if Bam Rodriguez wants to continue carving out a great legacy for him in the sport, there's 3 fighters in and around his weight that he's got to fight in the near future. Obviously, Junto Nakatani is a fighter that's getting a lot of hype, that people want to see him fight. He's fighting Santiago for the WBC bantamweight title, and I believe Junto is a Tekken Promotions fighter as well. I could be wrong on that one, Bob. So correct me if I'm wrong. If he gets that belt, I don't know. Probably not. Maybe they don't wind up fighting each other. But if they don't fight each other, look. One thing I can tell you guys, whether we're talking about Kenshiro Kosei Tanaka, I know for a fact there's guys that want to fight Bam. And look, a lot of people don't even want to see Bam move up yet, because there are some people on Twitter. Shout out to my man Shiba Box 1109 1109. He said only one man can stop only Kenshiro can stop Bam. Kenshiro is our only hope, ladies and gentlemen. According to my man right here, Kenshiro is the only hope to stop Bam Rodriguez. Now, of course, if they were going to fight, 2 things would have to happen. Number 1, Kenshiro would have to be willing to move up to 112, and I think Bam Rodriguez will have to be open to the possibility of staying at 112 for a big fight like that. And I'll say this. I think if there was ever a fight that Bam should stay at 112 for, it's Kenshiro Teraji. Why? Because Kenshiro Teraji is a borderline Hall of Famer. I think in my eyes, he actually is a Hall of Famer, because he's been a dominant champion. He's been a consistent champion. He's been in great fights. He's given the boxing fans, a lot of great moments in the ring. But Kenshiro, big time fighter, A-level fighter. The only man that's beaten Kenshiro is Masamichi Ibuki, and then when they had the rematch, you saw what happened to him, right? So I think it's kind of like the same thing with Gaio. Every fighter that's been in that ring with Kenshiro Teraji has tasted defeat. And I'll tell you guys this. You guys know, for those of you who follow me, for those of you who really are tapped in with the untouchable True School Sports Empire, you know that when I was in Japan earlier this year, Kenshiro expressed an interest to fight Bam Rodriguez. And if you never saw what he said, here's what Kenshiro said about fighting Bam Rodriguez back in May when I was in Japan, and I interviewed the man for myself face-to-face with my translator, my boy, Taihei Yamamoto. Shout out to Taihei. He'll be doing my translator next time I go out there. But yeah, here's Kenshiro talking about Bam.
How does he feel his style and his skills match up with Bam Rodriguez?
その WBC ですか、アメリカでは、次のスター候補みたいな感じで言われてるんですけど、どう思う？
スターになっててくれたのがありがたいですよね。
Yeah, he's willing to hit the Bam Rodriguez to be in star over there because he's going to beat him up anyway along the way.
So you can ask him this. He's going to beat him up and take his fans.
ロドリゲス家のファンも取ってしまいたい。
そうですね。
Yes.
So you heard it. You heard what Kenshiro said. You heard what the hell he said. He said he gonna beat Bam if they ever fight. He'll beat him up and take his fans. And I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna say it straight like this. Kenshiro has expressed personally to me a desire to fight in the States. He even told me he wants me at his American debut. Now, I don't know when or how the hell that's going to happen, but if there was ever a fight where he should make his American debut, I think Bam is the ideal fight. It's a different type of style too, right? Because unlike a Sonny Edwards, Sonny Edwards has no pop at all. Now, I don't know how Kenshiro's punching power would carry up from 108 to 112. We'd have to see how that works out. But fundamentally, like a lot of times your punching power is dependent upon your technique and your fundamentals. And he's got great fundamentals. So if his punching power carries up at all, we know Kenshiro's got a nice educated jab. He's got probably one of the best. He's got one of the best right hands in the business. It's a different challenge for Bam Rodriguez. So I like that fight. It might be a case of Bam being too big, too strong. But Kenshiro, in my eyes, is a Hall of Fame fighter, and he's one of the best fighters pound for pound in the entire sport of boxing. So if the opportunity presents itself to fight Kenshiro Teraji, Bam Rodriguez has to jump on it because that's the kind of name you want to get on your resume. So, it is what it is there. But then if Bam says, look, the good thing about Bam's whole situation is if you don't want to fight that Japanese guy, listen, we got a Japanese guy for you in every weight class. So you don't want to fight Kenshiro. You can't make the weight. You feel like, you can't make the weight no more. It's too dangerous. Okay. You don't got to fight Kenshiro. You can go fight Kosei Tanaka. He's in the weight class that you're going to. He's a 115 pounder. He's a three division champion, 108-pound champion, 105-pound champion, 112-pound champion. And he has aspirations of becoming a 4-division champion, right? He is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters around these weights, and he is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters from Japan. And I think that fight would be great for him, right? And look, again, I talked to Kosei Tanaka myself, so this is not like me speculating. This is not me hoping and wishing. This is real facts. This is real. Like, I can tell you guys from what I know, Kosei Tanaka also wants to come to the States, probably a little more than Kenshiro. One of his dreams is to fight in the States. He was even here in the States. He came to Minnesota and sat ringside for Fernando Martinez to scout him. And when I talked to him, he mentioned that he wanted to fight Bam Rodriguez in the States. And if you don't believe me, here's Kosei Tanaka.
Probably he likes being in a ring with the Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
Yeah. What excites him about fighting Jesse Bam? Like, what about his style excites him about fighting Jesse?
そういう選手のその多彩なスタイルに自分が合わせていくっていうのをどういうふうに対応できるかっていうのを楽しみにしてると。
自分自身がどうなるのかも楽しみだし、あとオールマイティな選手に対して逆に自分がいろんな引き出しを出して戦わなきゃいけないと思うんですけど、それがどんどん出てくるのか、それが楽しみ。
To against like him, it's like he needs to pull out all kind of drawers to to match with. So he's kind of expecting himself to what kind of the fight style is gonna be. So he's pretty excited about that.
Okay.
So there you have it. Kosei Tanaka is ready, willing, and able to fight Bam. So you got Kenshiro, pound for pound caliber fighter, future Hall of Famer in my opinion. Kosei Tanaka, both willing to fight Bam. Pick one. All right. Pick a Japanese guy. Pick one. All right. I think stylistically they're both good fights. I think Bam might be too big for Kenshiro, but Tanaka be a really intriguing fight because Tanaka. Again, I don't think Tanaka has the greatest chin in the world, but Tanaka is one of the most offensively dynamic fighters in boxing. So he's going to be throwing punches at Bam Rodriguez. Very explosive guy for the weight. Has tightened up his defense since the loss to Ioka. I think that'd be a really good challenge for Bam at 115 because that's where he's going, right? So of the two, that's the more realistic. But nonetheless, just a lot of great options for the San Antonio native. The world, the way I look at it is, the world is his oyster. So let's get to it. Hyro says, Top Rank has really highlighted Junto Nakatani. Top Rank does the best in showing these fights from Japan. Yeah, they do a hell of a job. I mean, they're going to be showing the fight and program reminder. 1 week from today, ladies and gentlemen, 1 week from today, I will be live for Naoya Inoue versus Marlon Tapales. So it's going to be a momentous occasion. We know Inoue is going to be trying to become undisputed for the second time in a calendar year, fighting a 2-division champion, a really determined Filipino puncher in Marlon Tapales. Good fight, really good fight. I can't wait to be live for it. Obviously, I think when it comes to American Naoya Inoue coverage, I'm probably the leader in that on YouTube. So I already know it's gonna be a fun live. Just the same way the Stephen Fulton live was fun. So make sure you guys join me for that. But yeah, Top Rank does a great job with showing these fights, and long may it continue. Long may it continue. El Jefe says if you have Kenshiro as a Hall of Famer for being a one division unified champion, then you got to put my Texas native Errol Spence 3-belt unified champion. All right, so now that you brought it up, right? Because I don't want to sit here and compare an A-level fighter to a B-level fighter, because that's what you're doing. You're comparing a guy who's an A-level fighter in Kenshiro to a guy who's a B-level fighter in Errol Spence. And yeah, I said it. Errol Spence Jr. is a B-level fighter. A very hyped up B-level fighter, an accomplished B-level fighter, but a B-level fighter nonetheless. He's not an A-level fighter, because when he fought another A-level fighter in Terrence Crawford, he got beat up by him. But nonetheless, let's compare. Let's compare. You want to compare? Let's compare. All right? Because there really is no comparison. There is no comparison between Kenshiro and Errol Spence. None. Zero. Errol Spence. Hold on. Let me pull it up first. Because Errol Spence had the belt, but he ain't defended it nearly as many times as Kenshiro. That's for damn sure. His fights he damn sure hasn't been as dominant as Kenshiro. That's for damn sure. Because when Kenshiro lost, yeah, he's got knocked out. But like Errol lost every second of every round. And then he got knocked out. Kenshiro just got knocked out by a good punch. Right? But nonetheless, look. So Kenshiro, I know from talking about it, I believe he has 10 or 11 world title defenses. Like there's only like 3 or 4 fighters in boxing active right now who have made 10 defenses or more. It's like Crawford, Canelo, Roman Gonzalez, Deontay Wilder, I think Gallo, Vaquero Navarrete, and I think I had a list, but the dude became champion when? I think it was 2017. 2017 became champion. So Ken won his first world title in 2017, and he's defended that shit over 2 title reigns like 10 or 11 times. Earl don't got 10 or 11 defenses. In fact, Earl barely fights. Earl didn't fight all of 2021. You know, I know you're gonna say car crash, and that's another thing. Earl got into a car crash because he was living an undisciplined lifestyle outside the ring and whatnot. The best fighter he fought was Terrence Crawford. When he fought him, he got sparked. The best fighter Kenshiro fought, and his biggest and most important fight was Hirota Kayaguchi, and abused him and beat the piss out of him for, you know, the whole fight. There's no comparison. There is zero comparison. Kenshiro has been the #1 light flyweight in the world for, I don't know, the better part of more than half a decade. Errol Spence purposely avoided Terrence Crawford for the better part of half a decade. There is no comparison between the Amazing Boy and the Truth. And that's the truth, you know, but to each his own. You know, I give Earl his just due because, you know, he did beat Kell Brook. Even though I still think Kell Brook would have beat him if they would have fought, you know, they would have fought with him not being weight trained. But that's just me. But nonetheless, that's gonna wrap it up on my my BAM versus the Japanese segment of the show, because we got more to talk about. We got more to discuss.